We're talking to Jereme Bivins, a social media manager with the Foundation Center. Hey, Jereme.
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about how you make decisions about what you put out to followers and fans of the Foundation Center. So, when you get a good idea, what happens with that good idea? How do you make decisions about what we see?
Okay, sure. What I do is I spend a lot of time kind of watching what other people are talking about in the nonprofit and philanthropic sector. And as I see those conversations develop, I take a look at what else is being produced content-wise around the web, what the Foundation Center is publishing, and what we're putting out ourselves. And I try to connect people with what makes sense based on the conversation. And as the conversations start developing, I try to carry on the conversation with the people that are doing the talking. I try not to lead the conversation myself, but make sure that we have an active voice in that conversation.
Now, the Foundation Center obviously does have a big calendar of events in particular. Mm-hmm. So how does that influence you and your communications?
Sure. Well, we have 5 regional offices and a national office. All of the regional offices have their own communication vehicles, which help to push out their specific content or their specific events to their regions, because nobody knows their region better than they do. So I look to support and enhance their efforts. So, for instance, if San Francisco is putting on a proposal writing course, I try to lead up with enough content so people can find what they're looking for. If they're interested in doing nonprofit foundation fundraising and they want to learn how to write proposals in San Francisco, then I try to direct them to the San Francisco office. Similarly, the San Francisco office will make their Twitter account and their Facebook account post the same type of content, but in a way that reflects their personality and their unique voice in that community.
Now, I think you mentioned that you have something like 150 staff nationwide. Is that correct?
In the ballpark of, yes.
Okay. So as the social media manager, how do you work with all of the staff? Is anyone allowed to tweet and Facebook update on behalf of the Foundation Center, or is that a more controlled and managed process?
Sure. So what we do is I update the Foundation Center's Facebook page and the main Foundation Center's national account. And from there, the regional offices have dedicated staff that they've selected to monitor their accounts online on Facebook and on Twitter. It's not anybody's full-time job in a regional office. It's actually something that the librarians do, that even the directors for the office are doing themselves. So you'll see kind of the individual flavor come through of each region in each office, but you'll also see a maintenance of the voice, of the Foundation Center's voice in those flavors.
And how would you describe that voice?
Well, we try to remain neutral in the nonprofit sector and in the philanthropic sector. We try to connect people to the resources that they're looking for, but we don't try to take any given side. So okay. You'll see that neutrality and that firm expertise in the nonprofit sector and in philanthropy from the Foundation Center, but again, there's different flavors from around the country on how people want to be connected that way.
Tell me a little bit more about some of those flavors. Can you give me an example of something that maybe Atlanta would do that San Francisco wouldn't, or vice versa? Sort of, what do you see in terms of those flavors?
Cleveland is a great example for this question. Cleveland is a nonprofit hub in the Midwest, and the way that office is positioned, it's not only helping to accommodate the flow of information, the data we gather from grant makers, but also as a great meeting place for nonprofits to come and congregate and figure out what their specific needs are. So the nonprofit community there knows that the Foundation Center in Cleveland it's a meeting place where everybody can come together and kind of feel the nonprofit community in that area.
Great. So do you all have any sort of regular conference calls or staff meetings, or how do you sort of manage it behind the scenes to kind of make sure everybody's more or less heading in the same direction, even if they do have the flexibility to kind of go down the path on their own?
Sure. Well, we do share a content calendar that we put up on a shared network, so everybody has access to what each regional office would be posting in their blogs, or what specific events are going on in their regions. So we all can see that information, but we do have regular calls. About once a week, the regional offices have calls, and frequently marketing and communications is either a part of that call or on separate calls with them about varying things that they're having in their offices. So we're all on the same page as to what's going on, and we're all working to enhance what each office is doing.
Tell me what that editorial calendar looks like. Is it really a calendar format, or is it more of a spreadsheet? What does it actually look like?
I guess you could really consider kind of both. What we're really looking for is less of something that tells somebody what they need to be focusing on, and more of a calendar or an Excel spreadsheet, kind of varying depending on who's using it, that just allows everybody to know what's going on in those regions. Sometimes it might not even be something in a SharePoint calendar. It might not be something in a blog editor's Excel sheet. It could just be an email exchange that goes across. This week, San Francisco is really focusing on a marketing and communications event that they're hosting in their office, so they'll send along a thread, and everybody can have the opportunity to chime in on where they see that going, what types of things they should be discussing, or what types of things they should steer clear of, and how we all can better enhance that event.
If you had one tip for an organization that has chapters or members or affiliates across the U.S. and they're in the central office, what would that be?
Because our field offices are the experts in their regions, and they are the experts in nonprofit and philanthropy work in that area, that what we've found works best is, again, not to say that X, Y, and Z must be done from top down, but to have a conversation and a dialogue about the types of content that makes sense and the types of tactics that make sense in each given arena. So if it's a conversation that you're having, chances are it's going to be a more productive one than just telling somebody what they should be doing.
Well, thanks, Jereme. Thanks for sharing what happens at the Foundation Center's Communications Office.
Thank you.
Thanks.